We all face financial challenges, but sometimes it's even harder out there for retirees. So today we're joined by Dylan Bond. He's the owner of Bond Financial Services. We've got tips once again on planning your retirement, and that's especially difficult because we're talking about earlier, college tuition's rising and rising. So people need to set aside plans because if you have a kid and they're going to college, upwards of a couple $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, we're working with a lot of families that are 50 and older. They're faced with retirement planning, and they're also faced with paying off student loans and recuperating what they've spent for, in some cases, 3 or 4 kids to go through college at $20,000+ a year in tuition. So it just adds another layer of complexity and issues to a problem in retirement planning.
So that's where retirement planners, people like you, Bond Financial Services, come in, because retirees face so many challenges in addition to just having their kids go to college. Let's talk about the high stock market, because that's technically a challenge, even though a lot of people out there probably think it's a great thing.
Well, one of the most common concerns people have when they're facing retirement planning is outliving their money, running out of money before the end of their life, and that's a huge issue. And what makes that even more difficult right now is we're facing record high stock markets, record high bond markets, record low interest rates. Okay, and then when we consider inflation, when we look at healthcare, food, and energy, the 3 things that aren't included in the overall inflation number, those are things we use every day that are growing at record rates. So it's not a real good mathematical
the numbers aren't adding up
for somebody that has a longer life expectancy than their grandparents and parents had.
That's true. And if you think about it, everything's fine and dandy right now. The stock market's at an all-time high, or it's rebounded nicely.
Yeah, I would say the thing that we're looking at doing when we're working with the families that we're talking to is, first of all, dig real deep into what they currently have. And what we a lot of times will expose is there's a lot of unnecessary fees and expenses that if we can just figure out all the different leaks in their bucket that they don't need, whether it's excessive fees, whether it's excessive volatility and risk, or taxes, things of that nature, and we can plug those holes and keep more money in their bucket and then get a reasonable rate of return over time on it, they're going to have the ability to use that money along with their Social Security and pensions and things that they already have, so that they'll have a much better probability of not outliving their money.
I think another problem that a lot of retirees and even people my age face is that when you're watching TV, every third commercial is about some different sort of interest rate or mutual fund or something that I have no idea about. These days, the markets seemingly, and tell me if I'm wrong, has become flooded with all different plans and ideas.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people can make as individual investors out there is watching financial news programs day after day. The problem is it's basically financial pornography. You've got literally 5 to 30-second clips of talking heads minute after minute after hour every day with different opinions. How can you really sit down and identify your personal situation and what you really need to be looking at? And ultimately, that's what we try to do, is we try to look at what they're doing now, put ourselves in their shoes as though knowing what we know, and help them understand what they're doing and what they might be able to do more efficiently or better, and then show them and educate them different ways to do that.
That's a great point, because if you think about it, those national programs, the financial programs, it's a large canvas. They want a lot of people to understand some things, but when you talk to people, everyone's financial blueprint is like a fingerprint. It's different for everybody.
Absolutely different for everybody. And you know, if you ever get into a situation where you go to a financial dinner seminar or something like that, where somebody's talking about one specific magical product that'll guarantee you 6% whether you make or lose in the stock market, you got to be really careful about that, because they don't know who they're talking to, and if they're already recommending specific products and the benefits of those products, they don't even understand what the issues are. So how can they do that? So you really have to be careful. And that's why when we do our seminars, we're really talking about some of the common concerns and common issues that most people that are 50 and older face, whether they're not yet retired or already retired.
Now, Dylan, we're low on time, but those seminars you were speaking of, you do dinners and now the weather's nice in spite of today's snow.
We've got 2 golf seminars coming up. We got one at Twin Hills in the end of April, and then one in May at the Orchards Golf Club in South Hadley. So we've got those already on the calendar. We're going to keep adding more, and we have a couple dinner seminars as well at Twin Hills. Call George at the office. He's going to be adding more on the calendar for dates and availability. It is by reservation only.
It's very cool, though. You can grab a dinner or 18 holes. It's a whole lot of fun.
And listen to me.
And listen to which, I mean, you can't put a price on that.
You
Thanks
can't.
for stopping by.
Good being here.
It's always good seeing you. You can visit bondfinancialservices.net or call 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan and his staff take the steps to secure your financial future.